What's up, guys? We're starting in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. Unsigned live with Eder Teixiera. Starting in 2 minutes. Starting shortly, starting very shortly. Welcome, Kai. Welcome, Daniel. Damn, Daniel, I haven't seen you in a second, brother. Good to see you. I'm just trying to share this link, make sure that it's available. Oh, we got the OG in the house. We got Chris in the house. Welcome. So I'm going to bring you guys up on board in a second. I'm going to get started. First, and then we'll open it up as always. What's up, guys? Digital Jeff here. Welcome back to Unsigned Live. We're going to be doing this on the weekly moving forward. So stay present, stay tuned. A lot of things, a lot of changes happening in the world, a lot of changes happening internally, a lot of changes happening with each and every one of you. I see the changes evolve. Everybody's evolving day to day, week to week, month to month. Today we got a real special guest. I've been wanting to try to bring this guest on board for a while. Finally got a hold of him. Was able to spend some time with him at South by Southwest recently, and made the effort to fly to his place, to his office, to meet his whole team, to meet his entire staff, to see his whole his movement, what he's creating up in Fort Worth. Spend a few days with him. And one of the things that I personally been obsessed with over the last year is this idea of being able to integrate AI into everything that I'm doing to be more efficient. You know, how do I actually use the tools that are presented to us to actually make a difference in my routine, in my life, in my business, in my workflow, in my health, in my content creation. And I I feel like, as you, when you get obsessed with things, people fall, in your path that have those answers. And one of the persons that I've been able to speak about this topic in length has been our guest today. He's also the founder of Snack Prompt, Eder Teixiera. I'm gonna bring him on stage right now, but he's been one of the. I want to talk about him for a second, real quick. Aside from his passion, also for integration of AI into everything that we do, he's also very similar in the sense he's also a creator. He's been able to create multiple businesses, very, very successful in the Web3 space, in the Web2 space, creating blogs, creating some of the biggest newsletters, which is really hard to grow a newsletter nowadays. He's got over 250,000 email subscribers to his AI newsletter, actually. Who would imagine, right? Big into tech. He's a futurist. He's a dreamer. He's a believer. He believes in people. He's believed in me since the first day we met. And just the fact, what I love really about him is the way he sees things and is able to put things into practice, into motion through strategy and implementation and execution, which is some of the hardest things. And also, interesting fact about him, he is a owner of Sun's Coffee. It's a coffee shop in Dallas, Fort Worth. At a certain point, he had about 8 or 9 of these. He's been able to downsize to just one now. But for he's somebody that's taught me a lot about coffee, how the entire process of everything from the way the bean is roasted to the way it's processed, and the whole everything A to Z. So he's a coffee expert. He's traveled to all parts of the world to visit different coffee shops. That's the type of person he is. Really, really interested in the details of how things are actually created. And he's also an immigrant to the U.S., which is something that I personally admire. I feel like people that, like, for example, Gary Vee has a similar story, coming to the U.S. and has a different view of what opportunity looks like in this world. Recently, he's been able to grow a new platform to, I would say, 2 to 3 million users at this point in a short period of time. That platform, you guys might have heard of it, snackprompt.com. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about his entire story, but we're also going to be talking specifically of how to integrate AI into your workflow. And this guy has the cheat codes. I'm going to bring him on. Eder, welcome to Unsigned Live.
What's up, my brother? How are you?
Doing good, brother. Excited to have you on the show today.
I'm excited to be here. That was quite an intro. I appreciate that, Jeff. But for those who don't know, I think sometimes we don't give each other like too much credit. But Jeff has been a huge part of the last 6 months of my business owner journey, from supporting us. I think I think I told you this, Jeff, but we had 1.3 million users in our platform, and almost half of that came from you, from being connected to you and the support you've given. Literally, that support you gave us has allowed us to employ 10 plus people, provide jobs, and build something that I think it's going to really impact the lives of so many. But getting supported early on in your journey, it sometimes is the make or break effect. Like, if you don't get that initial momentum, you may not live out a couple months beyond that. So I appreciate you so much, Jeff, and I appreciate the kind words.
Awesome. And let's get started, man. I think one
Yeah.
of the first things I wanted to ask you is, when I was spending some those days I was in your space.
Yeah.
You said something that really caught my attention. You said we're going from the age of information to the age of validation.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
For the last 10, 20 years, there's been more information created than just about any other time in history. The interesting thing is that this multi-billion dollar market was created by people like you and I, creators, where we're selling information, we're building ourselves up as experts in the industry, whatever industry, and then say, hey guys, like if you want to reach these milestones, if you want to get to the place I've gotten, you can consume the information I have and ultimately replicate my success, right? So all of a sudden we're buying courses from guys that we look up to, creators, and it's built a brand new economy. Problem is there's a huge gap between information and actually implementation, right? So like I can consume Jeff's course, but it doesn't mean that I get Jeff's result because there's still the personality gaps, there's still my ability to retain the information, the strategy, the personality. So the information age had issues, which is this gap where the way you deliver, the way I receive the information. The problem is now AI fixes that problem, of course. So the interesting thing is that AI now contains all the information within the LLMs, and uh, this new age is going to be less about understanding how things work and a bit more about understanding how to ask AI, hey, can you do this for me? Can you create a hook, or can you create a thumbnail, or can you create a script that mirrors Digital Jeff's style and allows me to have the same results? Now, ChatGPT knows everything about you, Digital Jeff. It just consumes all the information out there on the internet. So it handles the information part. What I need to know is, am I asking for that output? Am I using AI in the same way that Digital Jeff would? Now, if someone can validate how Digital Jeff is using AI or validate the output in terms, ChatGPT handles all of the know-how, all the information, actually gets the work done for me. I just need someone to tell me if it did it right. Is this what I needed to ask? So that's the validation age. I think we're walking into that. The course, the information there is essentially dying. You don't have to know how to do 99% of things we do. AI will do it for us. Someone just needs to validate it if it's being done correctly. I think you're muted, Jeff.
My bad. I muted myself.
You may need headphones because the I
Is there a
realized that
reverb?
too. There's some reverb for them.
All right, let me do that. I have it right in front of me.
Hey man, now the digital from Digital Jeff is in motion. You're
Is
not
that
the
is
same.
that is that better?
That's better.
All right. So, okay. So validation, validator. Is there like a thing where like, okay, so now we need validators that are experts in that, or how does it? What's the opportunity here?
So, if let's use Mr. Beast as an example. If today Mr. Beast says, "Hey, I'm going to create a course that teaches you exactly how I create my videos, all the way from idea generating to scripting my videos, to quality control my videos, to how I create my thumbnails and how I create my titles. This is the exact workflow that my whole team uses." Right? He can create an information product, and it's probably going to take me 5-10 hours to consume all that information to try to understand it and then apply it. But as you know, and you being a leader here in the space, that at the end of the day, most likely we can kind of assume that Mr. Beast is using AI for a lot of what he's doing, right? Like they say it's like 90% of companies believe AI can optimize every part of their operation. And guys are smart as Mr. Beast, they probably have already adopted AI into all those little steps within their company. Now, if he comes out and says instead, hey, instead of selling you a know-how like a course, I'm going to give you the exact prompts or my exact AI workflow that automates
Got
all
it.
of these
Okay.
things for me. That is validation. That is him saying, if you want, we know ChatGPT, the same access that he has to ChatGPT, I have. We can, the only difference is how does he use it versus how do I use it? If he can validate the proper way to use ChatGPT to get the same outcome that he has, then I can reach the same results that he's reached.
Amazing. So I would say ideally, what the power behind it is people that have been able to figure out their own workflow can now create blueprints, which they're validating for a mass, for the masses.
Yeah, a
And this is
brand
not
new.
this is not yeah this is not only for creators but for every industry. Correct?
Exactly. I believe there's going to, instead of selling courses, the product that most likely makes sense to sell in the near future is going to be AI workflow or prompt lists or prompts. We don't know what the term that's going to really be adopted over long, over the next couple of years. But as of now, people call it prompts, which is the input that goes into AI, the question, the way you frame the ask. I think the market for that is going to way supersede the market for courses and information.
Got it. So, obviously, those are the cheat codes. When I talk about product as a creator, our audience right now, the majority of them are in the timeline where they started posting on socials. And as growth begins, product becomes very important for them because product is what actually liberates the creator to be able to create more, right? So
Mm-hmm.
without a product, you're pretty much just creating. It's pretty much a hobby at this,
Mm.
so once you actually go from being just a creator to actually creating a product, that's when that's when you solidify yourself as like, okay, this is gonna actually free me to do more, create more impact. So as far as product, so let's talk about Snag Prompt because I think it's very important for us to understand the monetization part of this. What is the opportunity right now? You mentioned prompt packs. I know we're working on one together.
Mm-hmm.
And can you explain the opportunity
Yeah.
of how creators can actually monetize instead of having an actual course, monetize this idea of validation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's evident. The course world, information world, is going to die. So if you're a creator on the forefront or someone who's looking to step in, anytime that there's a shift in the economy or a new industry emerges, um, it's people get scared, right? Like a lot of people think, oh my goodness, everything's going to change. I won't be able to monetize my audience the same. But you hear guys like Gary Vee saying, dude, I think it's a phenomenal idea. Like if all of a sudden social medias, all of them died, like I'll be super excited because it gives me the advantage to start over and then have the edge over everyone else. It levels the playing field. So today, I believe if anyone is looking into AI, those people are in a bubble. And right now, we think that everyone knows about AI, but the truth is, if I walk outside my house, none of my neighbors are using AI. So we're early, okay? We're early. So now we got to predict in this new industry, now that information age is dead, what it's going to be the product that the money is going to flow to. All the billions and billions of dollars going into information, where is that being transferred to? And I believe that's going to be transferred into automated workflows. In other words, prompts or prompt packs. I can actually, I don't know if I can share my screen on here, but I think I can.
You should
But
be able to share it. Yes.
I'm gonna make it available, Jeff, for anyone who's in this call to get this file that my team spent a few weeks working on it. But essentially, it's the 10 steps to making your first $1,000 with ChatGPT. And we created this to essentially predict what the new opportunity, the new product that people are going to want over the next 6 months to 12 months to 2 years. We think it's going to be these prompt packs, right? So we created a blueprint where we took the Notion economy, and we said it's probably going to look a lot like that on steroids, right? Like today, let me just show you this. Like there's 11 million people that uses Notion. I personally know of many creators who are making multiple six figures, some that are making seven figures selling Notion templates. This is basically, in other words, selling manual workflow. Notion allows you to organize your life and organize your business. It's manual workflow. And with the 11 million people that use this Notion, it's created a whole new market for people to make millions of dollars. Now, with ChatGPT, there's 180 million plus users. Now, those users, as we know, like 98% or 99% of any new industry or any new tech, they're consumers, right? And then there's the creators, the 1%, the 2%. This is the people that serve and lead all the 99 or 98%. So the economy now gets shifted here, where there's going to be a lot of demand for good quality prompts as lawyers begin to adopt AI, as financial experts begin to adopt AI. They're not creators. They're not forerunners. They won't know how to use it. They're going to look for those validators, those people that says, hey, if you want to use ChatGPT, here's the blueprint. And because of it, we went ahead and created our snack prompt. A snack prompt is just a discovery place where you can find top prompts per category. And I think a lot of people that started using it early on was SEO guys, like guys who are agency owners and such. But in the future, we predict where moms are using this, where fitness gurus are using this, lawyers are using this, and they're creating prompts that essentially creates lease agreements, or for prompts that will do your taxes for you. But when you have these prompts, when Mr. Beast has his workflow, where is he going to sell it? When that time comes, we believe that Snack Prompt will be at that marketplace where Mr. Beast could go in and say, hey, here's my complete video making workflow. We use 12 prompts to do a video of A through Z. It automates our whole process, and you can go on snackprompt.com and buy it for $19.99. And again, we believe we're super early, Jeff. So in the next couple, 6-12 months, you start to see a lot more creators going down and pushing courses and starting to sell products exactly like this. And when that time comes, I think Snack Prompt is there to really serve this community.
Yeah, and I believe also, like, first of all, thanks for sharing this, and thanks for how are they going to be able to download this? Is this going to be a link that I can send to everybody?
I'm going to give you this link, Jeff. Yep, and I am going to, if they yeah, I'll let them download, or they can go to the dailybite.co, Jeff, dailybite.co, and there's going to be a making your first $1,000 link right on top within 10 minutes after this call, and they can download it there as well. The dailybite.co.
Okay. Okay, amazing. So that'll be available. So one of the things that comes to me, I'm gonna hide your screen just so we can.
Perfect. Let me get out here.
So one of the things that comes to mind, as you're saying this, is arbitrage opportunity for creators to grow on social media. Because I'm always thinking about growth. For example, Al Hussein, who has been with UNSIGNED since day one, went from not creating, like, he had a full-time, 8 to 5 corporate job, and went all in on being a content creator, right? And he went into one of the hardest industries, which is fitness, in the fitness space, right? So, like, imagine you're competing against all the fitness experts in the world. But I see an arbitrage opportunity for him to be able to create the right prompt packs or prompts for people in the fitness space. And that's an arbitrage opportunity because it creates growth for his personal brand if he becomes the one that is teaching other people how to segue into this new age. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Remember, Jeff, does this happen to you where when Bitcoin goes parabolic, all of a sudden we're in the bull market, do you start getting a bunch of text message friends asking you, yo, how do I buy it? How do I buy it? Do they do that?
Yeah.
They do that, right? But no one asks us to buy when it's down. When the market is slow, when things are building up, no one asks us about it. And I always tell my friends, guys, if it's already trendy and everyone's talking about it and everyone is doing it, you're kind of behind. And then you're gonna have to work 1,000 times harder to create an opportunity for yourself. But when you build, when no one's paying attention, when the demand isn't there yet, that's when the hype comes. Everyone is gravitating towards you. So for your friend who's in the fitness space, he needs to be building now. His social media needs to be filled with content. Hey, here's a free prompt to help you recover post-workout. You put in your weight, you put in the workout you did the day before, and it's going to create a full a plan for you on how to properly recover. And then, by this time, he's filled his social media with those types of content. When people Google 6 months from now, when everyone is now paying attention to AI and looking for AI to solve their problems, who's going to rank number one? It's probably going to be your friend, the fitness guy. So my big theory is that the people who absolutely are convinced that AI is going to be part of 99% of people's lives or 90% of people's lives in the next 2 years, they need to be creating the products now that most likely the demand is really going to be there in 6 months to a year from now. So he should be creating prompt packs, getting really good at it, and building that small community even before the demand really gets there.
Love it, love it. So I honestly like I think that's one of the biggest like when I think about growth in social media is like you got to have an edge or something that makes you slightly different than the entire sea of creators. And I feel like this one here is very unique because it could be applied to every industry and every niche. So for example, if you have like a travel page, you can create the prompts for like travel, right? Correct?
That's good. Uh,
Yeah.
Crazy you say that, Jeff. You probably noticed this too because you're very attentive. But every company that's been around for 5 years that you see their ads every single day, like there's a company that's basically a project management tool. Now every ad that I see from them, this says we are AI project management tool. Like everyone is putting AI in front of their tagline or in front of what they're doing, their vision, and calling themselves an AI product. For one, public companies that have listed the word AI in their quarterly calls saw in minimum, I think, a 5% increase in stock value. So the word AI, if you're not saying it, it's hurting you on the investment, perception. Now, from a small business solopreneur standpoint, to be able to say, hey man, I'm a fitness coach, but I use AI to enhance the workout routines. We have an AI program that combined with what I do that makes it that much more effective. I think it's the same blueprint. It's them realizing, you know what? People know AI is incredibly powerful and it's meant to give me a little bit of superpower, give me the edge. So I think if everyone uses AI as an edge or people start to do it, I think it's going to have the same effect, right? It's going to boost their credibility a little bit. I don't think people are pushing back AI. Do you feel that that's happening, Jeff, where people are resisting, like the average person?
I feel like that's a great question. First of all, I don't think people are resistant. People are very actually accepting of these new ideas, um, and I think it's gotten to a point where people just really want to know the right way to do things. Going back to validators, right? There's a lot of information when it comes to how to use AI, but not nobody's really showing you exactly how to implement it into what you really want to do. And this is what excites me, like working alongside with you excites me. And that's the obsession, is like, okay, how do we actually increase the efficiency of a small business owner? How do we increase the efficiency of a one-man content creator that wants to do content like, or wants to compete with Mr. Beast? How do we use AI to get, be more efficient and actually put it into our workflow day to day, not just for the sake of making the video, but for the sake of actually improving your life, improving your fitness regimen, improving your diet, improving your small business, your customer service, however it is that you want to apply it. There's an actual way of actually doing it. So
The
yeah.
crazy thing, Jeff, I know, is that you were the first one, and I think you will always be known as the first guy who showed everyday people what AI really can do, right? So when I was talking to my investor, he had to convince me. We went to a bar. The company's called Atlanta Seed Company, and Connor, who's one of the leaders, like the main investor there, he took me to a bar in Dallas, and I told, man, I really feel like I need to start thinking about something outside of prompts, meaning I have the product just can't be built around prompts because people are starting to learn how to do prompts. And he stopped me and said, Eder, you live inside this little bubble where you're talking to the top 2% of the world. You only interact with the top 2% of the world of early adopters. If your friends are mostly creators and business owners, the 98%, like the mom who raises chicken, you know what I mean? The kid, like the middle schooler who's like is studying music, like they will never become an expert in AI. They will always need a middleman, a middle to aid them. I say that to say I genuinely think no one really knew the impact of AI in their personal lives until that video you did blew up, like 20 million plus views. And then you did a second one that showed the fitness, 8 million plus views. Jeff, that month, I'm not kidding. I'm not even exaggerating. I think that month, because you brought 300,000 users to our platform, I think you probably gave ChatGPT OpenAI at least 500,000 paid users. I think you did
Oh,
more good for
100%.
them. You did more good for them than any marketing they ever did.
100%. I agree with you, and thank you for acknowledging that. I feel like a lot of people. I'm big into like history, especially like in this digital age, and I appreciate you saying that because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the impact that was created during that uh, short time period, and even today, I still feel even today there's still huge arbitrage opportunity to be the first one of the first movers that actually goes deep, go really, really deep into what the objective of your audience is, like whatever your audience is trying to accomplish. If you go really, really deep and you yourself study it and find ways to teach that to a mass audience, I think you're gonna be, you're gonna be able to reap the benefits. For me, one of the biggest things that happened to me, obviously, there's a lot of growth on socials, but I started shaking hands with a lot of the people that I've always wanted to work with. From all the way from Meta, from Facebook, to people like Eder. So it was there's a lot of when you are, let's call it, like when you're part of the bear market, right? Like that you mentioned right now, and you study it and you go deep and you figure out the cheat codes, you figure out what is it exactly, how can I bring a lot of value to my audience. I think right now that's the opportunity right now to go really deep in this and not take it as this is just it's gimmicky, it's whatever, it could feel like that, but the reality is not. One of the great examples is Mr. Grateful. Mr. Grateful is working in the mind, body, spirit AI space, which is it technically it encompasses all. But one of the things that I love about what he's doing is he's grabbing your vitals, your everyday vitals, from your Apple Watch, and then being able to use AI to give you the right regimen for whatever the objective is that you're trying to accomplish. So
Dude,
when he comes out with that, teaching that, it's gonna be, I know it's gonna break the internet again.
Jeff, you've walked through through the businesses, and let me correct that. I think we had 5 or 6 coffee shops. Some of them are private, not 8 or 9. I would have gone crazy if I did. Funny story is I'm actually flying to Brazil next week. We built 3 over there, and we were gonna build 200 in the next couple of weeks. And then I had them buy me out recently because I'm so passionate about AI and snack prompts. I was like, you know what, I have to sell some of these shops. But I just wanted to say that. But the point I wanted to get into is this: having all these businesses, Jeff, I've never been able to find or afford a really good tax attorney or a tax team. Like I will call a really good CPA and say, hey, I have all these businesses and I need to have a really good strategy. And I have some real estate and I have all this, and I have employees all over, different parts of the world. I need to find a way to save the most amount of money in taxes. And they're like, well, I'm just a CPA. You're going to need a good bookkeeper. You're going to need a good tax attorney. So I will call the tax attorney, like, I can help you in this part, but I don't want to understand this part. I feel like I needed a whole army in order to be able to save the type of money that guys like Trump or these guys save. The point is, Jeff, picture this, and I'm sure you have. What if there was this AI prompt, or this AI, you just connects it to your bank, you put in all of your business filing information, like your formation, your EINs, and he freaking tells you every possible way by connecting to your bank in which how you can save money, and he does your taxes for you. There is no reason. I know we're going to upset a lot of people right now, but there's no reason I need to be, stressing out for a month out of my year to figure out my taxes when basically the tax laws don't change like every single day. Like, you know what I mean? Like AI could like so much of our lives can be handled. Like I think the most powerful prompt you've done, Jeff, that like most people don't even know it exists, is the college broke GPT that you did, where it's like you literally just put the ingredients in your refrigerator and then he creates your whole meal plan for the rest of the week. Like, do you understand the amount of stress that's going to save for my wife? Like, if she actually knew how to use that, like, the fact that like people aren't going out and like helping stay-at-home moms use ChatGPT to do the day-to-day things There aren't tech strategists right now going viral to teach people how to use AI to do their taxes. Like, we're still 2 years early. Like, if you're in this call,
Yeah.
if you follow Digital Jeff, you're about 2 years early. And those who can just see a little bit of the glimpse of the future and bet on that future, I think they're gonna make a shitload of money.
I agree with you 100%. I'm going to open it up for Q&A right now with the unsigned army. But before that, I wanted to just, there's 3 courses available for everybody that's part of the unsigned army, that they're all AI based. What are the difference between the 3 courses, just so we can share that?
Yeah, I'll be quick with this, but one of them is for beginners. It helps them understand like how to approach AI, like the perfect stack. Like, what are the AI co-pilots? Like, how do you maximize the use and efficiency in AI? Believe it or not, it should, if you actually follow that course, we've done some tests here. It should save you an average 20 hours a month from repetitive typing and managing all kinds of prompts in different places. So it is going to bring a ton of value for people who consume the beginner AI course. And then there is the integrating AI to your business, where I sit across from a real business owner who has different locations, and she's running her business. She's one of those everyday people we just talked about. She's running a beauty business, and we were able to optimize her time by 600%. So she listed out in the course, while we're recording, everything that she does A through Z in her business to keep her business making money. And we automated almost 100% of the repetitive tasks. We shaved off 600. We gave her 600% increase in her time. So that was really cool. So a dentist, a beauty industry expert, a person who does HVAC, whatever, that course, how to integrate AI to your business, is absolute must. And then there's the cash flow blueprint for creators who want to find out how to monetize AI and how to use it to make money. I think it's a really cool course that's going to open your eyes to do just that.
Yeah, and then just to follow on the last one, the cash flow blueprint, there's 2 opportunities there. One is obviously, building a product, which you can build. You can technically build that product within the course of 24 or 48 hours. Not that it's going to be any less valuable than like, let's say, a full course, but because it's something very unique in what you're creating. But that's an opportunity there for you to able to monetize your content, right? But 2, I think there's also an opportunity for you to be first to market and first to teach this to a mass audience. So definitely there's a lot of value there, and there's a lot of opportunity. That's something, me personally, that I'll actually be implementing in these next 12 to 24 months into my workflow, into my business. So anyways, I'm going to open it up for questions. If you guys have questions, I'll bring you guys up on board. Let me see. I'm bringing a few guys. Let me see how many people I can put on the screen here. Let's see. We got Al Hussein. What's going on? How we doing, brother?
Hi, what's up, guys?
Hey, my friend.
Let's see. Oh, wait. So hold on.
How's it going, you good?
We got Chris.
What's up,
It's the
Chris?
first time I'm me playing with StreamYard, by the way. We got Daniel. So I don't know if you guys have any questions. We got Anastasia here.
So I have a question for Eder. If you think like it's all gonna be AI and prompts and everything, you think it's gonna be also harder for people to, stand out, given that, say for example, Mr. Beach share his stack prompt course or whatever. How are creators gonna be able to stand out if they all use the same prompts?
That's really good. Jeff, you can hit this after me, but again, I think it's leveling the playing field. You're either going to win in quality or in quantity. I think AI helps you to win in both. And I'm using AI right now to help me create my emails on the weekends. And the crazy thing is, like, even though 80% of the email I do has some type of like support from AI, I think it can't fully do the job for me because it can't capture my spirit, right? Like the connections I've made. So what I did with my email. It's called the Daily Bite, but my particular segment that goes out on Saturdays and Sundays, it's called Stupid Simple. It's just where I'm talking directly to the audience. And what I did is every time I write an email, I save it, and I save it as a snippet. Snippet is it's just basically pre-saved text I can call on later on. So I save all of my emails as a snippet. And then anytime I start using ChatGPT to help me write the next segment of my emails, I said, hey, here's my last 10 emails. Before you start cleaning up my content, can you describe to me my writing style? Can you analyze the last 10 emails I wrote and describe what makes me unique? And then ChatGPT gives me like a whole blueprint of like, Eder, you tend to use these words. You speak from a warm standpoint where you're referencing people as friends. You don't use a lot of high level words. You keep your vocabulary simple to understand. So I always give it context as to who I am before I assign it a task. And I think that context is where you can stand out. If you help ChatGPT know exactly what's unique about you and not losing that to where everything is just robotic and to a clone of each other. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think when you said something about like you can never replicate your spirit, I think that's very true. Think about it like, when you go eat mom's food or grandma's food, right? They have, they all have the same recipe, right? But your mom makes it slightly different. And that 1% of difference is what really touches your heart. And I think as creators, we gotta always stand out by being ourselves. And which is why I always speak about like, find your jacket. What is your jacket? What do you represent? What do you embody when you write a script? What do you embody as a person? What kind of energy do you have when you're shooting a video? When you're inspired to do your content, what is it that is really fueling you? Because that fuel will transpire slightly different, even if you have the same recipe, and that's what's going to make you stand out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's just like kind of integrating your personality into your AI.
And to be honest, brother, we don't know, right? Like today, this is absolutely crazy. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I saw somebody on my For You page, and I was like looking, and I did not know. Today was the first day where I had this wild awakening. I did not know if they were AI generated or real. Like there was so much evidence that this person was AI generated. I was like, it has to be. And then I'll look at another photo, and I did not know, and it just blew my mind. I was like, give it another couple months, like we're gonna be flooded with profiles where we just can't tell, and no one is obligated to say if they're AI generated or not. The point is, it is gonna become a problem where there's gonna be so many more people to follow on the internet because now you can make 100 personalities and run those social media accounts, and they all look completely different. That it's going to create a new problem where people are going to essentially get tired of content potentially, or it's a particular type of content, but then there's going to open a new opportunity for a more authentic type of content to exist. I'm going to bet that's going to be live content, that like Kick and all those streaming apps is going to be a lot bigger, where it's like you're scrolling through your wall and you're just seeing a bunch of lives, and you just stop on the person you want to watch at that moment. And it's going to be about being present. It's going to be about seeing people that you absolutely know it's real. I don't know what the solution will be, but I'm excited for it. People will get tired of so much content looking the same.
Yeah, going back to the ideas, like as a creator, you always got to find out what makes you you, and that's why it's the importance of know thyself is as important right now more than ever. Because in the world of AI, being true to you and knowing who you are and letting that come out, right, is probably the most valuable thing. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions that wants to add right now. We got another 15 minutes here.
I have a few questions and thoughts. I think the first one, just for a conversation approach, you said that the course world is going to die. And when you say that, I think about people like Iman Gadzhi, who started Educate, and Hormozy with school.com, and like even Tate with university.com. They're purchasing these domains, right, for a reason. And so do you really think that the course road is going to die when perhaps it's just going to break apart and people are going to choose who they want to learn from and take their courses, right, and follow their path? I'm curious to know what your mindset is on why it's going to die.
I don't think certain course. I don't think will all die from a standpoint of. Jeff shared with me how his son was really impacted by Andrew Tate, where he learned how to like be more manly, how to take care of himself. I think those type of courses would do incredibly well. But a majority of courses today are technical course. If you go to udemy.com, I think 80% of the homepage is filled with coding courses, writing courses. Is technical hard skills. I think the hard skill course world is going to take a major hit. And I think the soft skill course world, where it's like learning how to do relationships better, all of that, I
Right.
think that's going to do really, really well. The only problem is that think about information as trying to do the math problem in your head, right? Like, so you have a math problem and you're doing the solution on paper. And that's what consuming information is going to feel like versus using a calculator to do the math problem. What I mean is, I can learn to sell really, really well, or I can have a little Bluetooth headphone or my Meta glasses who's listening to the conversation with the person I'm selling, and it's using AI to feed me the responses. Someone went to a court case recently, I think like 6 months ago, and they used AI to win a court case. So he was listening to everything in the room, to the judge, to the defendant, and he was telling them how to combat that information. So did that person need to know the law in order to go and defend and win? No. Somebody passed the bar test with using AI. So I think we're getting to a point where everything's AI is going to be like so seamless where you don't even see it. You don't have to like type anything. It's probably be feeding into your ears. It's probably being seen through your glasses and giving you immediate feedback and processing the response for you. So I don't know if people are going to want to learn how to do half the stuff we do today because the new calculator is AI, you know?
That makes sense. Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll definitely impact. When you look at the grand scheme of numbers, it'll impact 80-90% of course creators. The 1% will still be the 1%. You're talking about Iman Gadzhi, Andrew Tate. They'll still have their 200,000-300,000 members or more. They'll probably even grow even further. I think those 1% of course creators will even be larger because people are now more open to the idea of taking a non-traditional educational path versus 10 years ago where college was almost like mandatory in the eyes of culture. But yeah, like one of the things that comes to mind is like the idea of like, I don't really know how electricity works. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I know that I need to flip that switch to be able to turn on the lights. That's the idea of using AI. And the concept of me wanting to learn electricity is more because I'm intrigued of the way it works, not because I actually want to take that course or whatever that is. It's just like, oh, I need light in this room, turn on the switch. Oh, if that doesn't work, change the bulb. So, or there's a few other things, but ideally that's the way I see AI being, and this idea of like transitioning from learning all the intricate details of things to just, okay, how do I actually use it? And you're seeing it now in Hollywood. It's ironically, it's happening in the places that we didn't expect for it to happen. You saw Sora AI come out recently where you can create an entire animation like with no animation experience. And this is happening in 2024, not in 2030 as I imagine it would happen. So
And this and Jeff, and I know that you guys have probably a bit more questions, but it's like if you can just get a glimpse of the future. I think Jeff always talks about Gary Vee, but Gary Vee is a modern day prophet, right? Where like
yeah,
when he gets a glimpse into the future, like he was talking about country music and rap intersecting for the last 5 years, and then look at Beyonce dropping like a country album, right? Like the point is, we have to be better at not waiting for for the masses to recognize something for us to move. I think the people on this call, like you guys may be the leaders in this new this new era, where it's like now that content's not desirable, what will be desirable? I don't know. Like we don't really know what type of content people are going to want, or what type of human touch people will need within their device or through their device. So I don't. It's going to be really interesting to see. But the biggest thing, it's staying a little bit ahead, and then whatever it is that next thing is, to start creating that today. And I think it's not going to be information. I think it's going to maybe people will need inspiration a bit more, like opportunities to like connect one-on-one in real time. Like if Jeff start preparing like a product where people spend a week with him at a ranch, like those types of things may be more desirable than some type of digital.
No Diddy.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No Diddy, guys. No Diddy. You can spend a week with me with my ranch, but no Diddy.
Island boys. What other questions? Did we answer?
I think Christian had another question, then we can move on.
Yeah, really quick. I don't want to take too much time. I mean, what you're speaking of right now, what comes to mind are that people are going to create experiences, and this leads to. I just started an account. It's a travel account. It's not me traveling. I'm actually highlighting. So I'm Salvadoran American, and the country has turned things around. And there's a need for an English account that speaks about the travel and the gems and spotlights, and even talk about development, etc. So I created an account, and it's getting really good traction right now. I'm on week 2, and I'm close to 500 followers, and engagement's doing really well. I'm just taking other people's content and repurposing it, but I plan to do original content in the future. What success have you seen with Snack Prompt as far as travel prompts? Have you seen success there, and any tips, advice for me?
What's your account so we can all follow it?
Thank you. It's called El Salvador Explored.
Yeah, I'm almost sure I follow it now, if I'm not mistaken. But I've been following the journey.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I got on a call with Roberto yesterday for like 30, 40 minutes to just guidance. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Get the attention of the tourist board and the ministry there. But yeah,
I believe, brother, that I believe. So there's this concept called Snippet, and we're going to do a lot better job educating the market on what Snippet is. But prompts and snippets go hand in hand. So prompts is the ask, is ultimately the demand, and then snippets is what you feed that. So let's just say you have a prompt that says, create a social media script to be used as an overlay over videos of Salvador, where like people travel in Salvador. So now it creates a script, but you can make that prompt dynamic and say create a overlay script for videos of people traveling, and then instead of putting Salvador, whatever country, Mexico, Brazil, you put that as a placeholder. Now it's a dynamic prompt that anyone can use and just insert whatever country they're in. So that creates a placeholder. And then if you don't want to keep typing, like let's just say you have to describe what your account is about, you create a document that describes, hey, I only talk about Salvador. Here's all my audience information. You save that as a snippet, and then you insert into different prompts. So what I would encourage you to do is to find a way, how do I create a workflow for managing this account where I never type anything ever again, where like I continuously improve. I have a document or a snippet as to like defining my audience. I have a document or a snippet defining my tone, the type of tone. Do I want to inspire? Do I want to challenge? Do I want to angry people? Do I want to make people feel warm inside? Like this is the type of tone I want all my content to be. And then you just keep refining those snippets and then find the right prompts to connect them to. So the only thing I can encourage is like dive through Snack Prompt, find some good prompts, but then put more emphasis on your snippets, on the stuff that feeds the prompt, to really educate ChatGPT as to what your audience is like and what your tone is like and the vision for the account. So every piece of content is really consistent with your brand.
Yeah.
God.
I'm gonna add to that cheat code real quick. I would definitely tell you right now to start creating a knowledge base of all the hotspots, reviews with hotspots. And the reason I'm telling you a knowledge base is like it's pretty much a database that you can upload to ChatGPT, right? And along with the prompts that you create, it could tell you exactly. It could be very customized to the experience that somebody wants to experience when they're out traveling. So you can create this knowledge base with all the top, landmarks, all the top tourist places, restaurants, things to do, not to do, and this knowledge base now becomes like this something valuable that you've created, that you've actually customized to El Salvador, right? And now that becomes a GPT for all the prompts that you feed it. So I would definitely do that, and that could be something that you can actually offer specifically only on your page. That's only available through your channel. So
Interesting. And you're saying to build that on ChatGPT, right? As a GPT, upload all the knowledge on there.
yeah, there's a way to do it. I mean, it could be as simple as a PDF. You create a PDF doc.
Right. Upload it. Yep.
Yeah, but there's different ways to create knowledge bases. I would say I don't want to get into the details of that right now, but
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think
Daniel,
muted.
you're muted. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Sir.
There you go.
I think it's crazy you guys say like, adding personality to even like AI prompts and whatnot. I just wanted to add because there's we talked like a long time ago on one of these. It was Roberto, and you were saying the biggest thing is like implementing personality and whatnot to when you're doing prompts and getting ahead of like all these people. There was this guy, Joel Roek, I think his name is, and he was just doing like the gym content. And that's when you guys were really pushing like add some personality, like make that a thing. And he's even gone that direction now, like ahead of everybody else. Now everybody's now trying to do it. And he even like met Roberto and they did that whole thing. And it's so crazy. Like what you guys are saying about like getting ahead. It's like the people doing that now are like getting so far before everyone else. Because now everyone's trying to follow.
Yeah, it's much like riding a wave. A good surfer will tell you, you don't want to go into the wave once the wave is formed. You have to essentially understand the ocean. And when you see even a slightly bit, hey, a wave could be formed, you need to be swimming towards it. And if it does form, now you're perfectly positioned to ride that wave. So if you guys are not, if the name AI or automation is not on your Instagram handle right now, and you're not creating value now that the wave is starting to form, it's probably going to pass by, and riding it's going to be really, really tough.
Correct. Arbitrage opportunities exist in seasons, and you gotta understand when the season's open. So right now it's still open. I think there's a huge opportunity. I think a lot of especially in the content creation space, I think a lot of people have not made that transition to even learn it. Like you have experts in every field that are not learning how to use AI for that specific field. But if you do become that person, regardless of how many followers you have now something that's different of value that is going to benefit millions of people. And the fastest way to reach people is through delivering as much value as possible in a 30-second video, short form reel, right? So that is where the arbitrage opportunity exists. Anastasia, do you have any questions before we're about the hour mark here?
Yeah, I actually do. So you mentioned earlier about a brand you were helping someone with within the beauty space, I believe. And that really intrigued me because I am in the pre-launch stages of a fashion brand focused for tall women. Haven't launched yet, still ironing out details. Actually going to be in Fashion Week today, so excited about that. But wanted to understand or just kind of get your overall thoughts on how to leverage the power of AI as I build this out. Like I've seen what it can do. It can change lives. It can help automate so much. And I'm a startup founder. I can't really bring on a team to help create content, film content, do all of these things. So as a solopreneur, I'm doing a lot on my own. So just kind of want to get your thoughts from a high level on what you would recommend or how you would recommend embedding AI into like a fashion brand at this point, and how to evolve that over time.
Yeah. So I always tell my team when you're painting a house, 80% of the time you're just taping the floors and putting the tarp. And the better you get at just taking your time to tape things well, painting takes like 2 hours, but you can spend 2 days just taping the walls. And so I would say before you get crazy busy, because I've built multiple businesses where I said, dude, it's so easy for me to do SEO and marketing for my business because I had an SEO agency for almost 10 years. And I built a coffee business and I never had time to do SEO. And almost, it's been 7 years now. I never slowed down to do SEO. When you take off, which you will, Anastasia, you won't have time to come back and tarp. Like you're just going to start painting, and wherever the paint goes, it's going to stay. So I say before things get really hectic and crazy, now I would start recording everything that you do. Use loom.com, which is a screen recording software, and then it transcribes it into text. Record everything that you do, every meeting you do, every task that you do, record it, save it somewhere, ideally like Notion or even Excel, just save it. Okay, so you do the task the first time, you record it in Loom. Now you have the transcript and you have the reference so that when you start hiring people, you said, hey, take the transcript from here and create a prompt from this. Or if you can take a step farther, you take the transcript of you maybe expressing to, you do a meeting, you record that meeting where you're explaining your brand or your vision. You're recording everything, you're capturing everything. Then you have so much context to feed ChatGPT later on. When you start to create prompts that create social media posts, when you start to create prompts that create blogs and all these things, now all of the context is in that database that Jeff talked about. So the founder of IBM said, create a company as it's going to be $1 billion company from day one. So all the steps you're going to do 10 years from now, you better start doing it today. So the biggest thing when building a business, I would say, record everything, document everything, and organize it in such a way that your team and the people helping you to implement AI into the different types of workflow, they have the context to pull from. And then watch the course as well, the implementing ChatGPT to your business, because I went step by step in implementing ChatGPT to a business somewhat similar to yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, that was great. Eder, thank you so much for spending this hour with us. Really appreciate your time. Again, guys, how long, before I end this, how long did you take to film, to create all these different courses?
It took us almost 3 months. We put a lot of work in them.
Yeah, just in the course creation, but like even in the research, it's been, probably like close to a year now in the research phase. And this is all available to you guys inside the Circle app with Unsigned. There's the Unsigned Creator course, and then there's 3 other courses that are all specifically AI related. So make sure you guys dive in, try to get that edge, ahead of the wave, and you guys are going to be in really good positions. Again, guys, we're going to be doing this now on a weekly basis. There's a huge announcement coming. I have a call with Roberto right now to iron out the little details. But those that are part of the Unsigned Hour, we appreciate your patience with us, and I promise it's going to be worth it. We're going to be coming up with something fire in these next weeks. So stay tuned. Love y'all, and see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.